Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci fi show where things can get totally radical. Now, today I will be welcoming my second guest from the 1987 Bay Area zombie cult classic, The Video Dead, Rocky Duvall. Yes, Jeff Blair himself, the lead, the young kid with the blonde, mulletish haircut. I'm having him on the show today to talk about that. Someone on Facebook had told me that he was on Facebook, and I couldn't find him. I didn't know if he was or not. And if I did find him before, I didn't think he was the same one. But I found him, and we're going to be talking about the movie today, his memories of making it, and all that stuff. It's an interesting little cult phenomenon about that movie because it went straight to video, and thanks to YouTube, it's a cult classic. Gotta love that. There's no greater story than that. So yeah, here is my interview with Rocky Duvall.
So how do you know me? You said you graduated San Mateo High School.
Well, I did go to San Mateo High School, yes, but I know you, of course, from the Video Dead.
Right. Yes. I graduated in '86. Brad came in after I left, like shortly thereafter.
Oh, okay, so you're class of '86. You
Yes.
know, did you know Bobby Walsh, who was '88?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was a friend of mine later, because, I'm much younger. I'm class of 2001, and
Right.
I knew him. He was a great guy. As screwed up as he could be, he was a great guy. Um,
He passed a few years ago, didn't he?
yes, I was at his memorial.
Yes. I was sorry to hear that. I did read. I did hear about that. We weren't close friends, but we didn't run in the same circles.
Hmm.
And I recall him from my early Foster City sports days.
Yeah, yeah, he
Yes.
was he was in the football and all that. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So, all right. So you want to talk to me again?
Yes. So let's get into that. And first off, this is such a great honor. Thank you for taking the time today.
No problem. It was a treat to kind of see that somebody was interested in speaking with me. I rarely get to talk about it that much, but I do have great memories about it. So, um,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
if I only have 30 minutes, let's go ahead and get started so I can give you as much info as you want. I mean, I'll try and recall things about it. If you can feed me questions, that would be great.
Yeah, Michael St. Michaels is usually the one who gets asked to do interviews about the movie because I guess he's like the most accessible to the public. But yeah, so going back in time, before the Video Dead comes into your life, were you already acting at San Mateo High?
Yes, I was physical theater. Yeah, I stopped playing sports when I was a freshman. Started in the whole drama classes, and then started performing in their shows. Started taking dance lessons, and so yeah, I had been. I think it was my senior year in high school when I filmed the movie. So it was 1986. I believe it was like spring
Mm-hmm.
'86 that I filmed the movie. It was released in '87. Um,
Yep.
um, but yeah, so I had already been in theater for 4 years. Yes,
Nice, nice. And you were born and raised in Foster City.
I was born in L.A., but my parents moved to Northern California when I was a baby. So yeah, I grew up in Northern California, um, Mountain View,
Oh yeah,
and Foster City. Moved to Foster City when I was like a toddler, I think, 2 or 3. So I grew up in Foster City up until and graduated high school. Left the California scene in the early '90s. I left. Just did started working on cruise ships.
oh yeah. Was Foster City as boring then as it's been in the last 20 years that I've been, hanging around?
Yeah, it's totally changed. Totally changed from when I was a kid. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. It just to me it was just a place of nice houses and the water and lots of seagulls. That's all it was to me.
Oh yeah, totally different for me. I grew up there. Totally got great. Great Foster City was fantastic. What a great place to grow up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I auditioned for the Video Dead when I was a senior in high school. Just an open call. I think I recall an open call. A bunch of my friends and I went up into the city, San Francisco, for a open script reading on camera, and I ended up getting the role of Jeff Blair. I had no clue what I was doing. I had no clue.
Yeah.
No clue.
And in those days, there was no internet. So did you hear about it from the newspaper?
No, our drama teacher was got information from a local audition every now and then, and he would recommend them to us if he felt that we were something that we might be good for. So and I actually recall him not sending me on this one, but I tagged along with my friends anyway because who was he to tell me whether I was good for a part or not? So I kind of defied him and went anyway.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah. I mean, I know that when local directors are trying to look for people for local movies, they usually go to the theater companies and stuff. But I didn't think he would go to the high school. I mean, that's pretty cool.
She was looking for kids. She was looking for high school kids. She needed kids.
Yeah.
It was a really low budget. It was a really low budget film. The thing I recall, I think the best memories I have was about the special effects guy, Dale. I forget his last name.
Yeah.
His name is Dale. He was awesome, and because it was so low budget, I, as an actor who was there on set, got to participate in helping out just behind the scenes with little things here and there whenever he did special effects on days that I would be on set filming. There's a scene where I think there's a hand that's just kind of wiggling.
Yeah.
Either on a box, it's like on a box or something. That's my hand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's my hand. Yeah. I just got to read, and he was awesome because he came up with this really, really clever stuff without any sort of budget to do things with,
Yeah.
And Robert Scott was a character. He was the director. He was a young guy. I remember he was a real young guy in his probably mid-20s.
Mm-hmm.
I mid to late 20s, but that's a young guy. But really enthusiastic about his story. He had a young wife at the time. I'd go up into the Sunset District to his house
Mm-hmm.
to rehearse, like just reading lines, learning the script, things like that. My father ended up driving me quite a few times up there. I lived in San Bruno at that time. I went to San Mateo High School,
Yeah.
but I lived up in San Bruno Hills with my dad.
Mm-hmm. Were you?
So I remember. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, for special effects, you talk about West Takahashi.
No, Gale.
Gale.
Gale. Gale. Gale.
Oh, Dale. Okay, as I'm trying to look it up here on IMDb. I don't see it, but yeah. What do you think the budget for this movie was? About 80 grand or something?
Oh God, I have no clue, like no knowledge of that whatsoever.
Okay.
At the time, I was 16, so I had no idea. It wasn't even on my radar to even think about that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Were you a horror fan already?
No, I had no, not at all. No, I was just an actor in a horror movie.
So you didn't care. You didn't see the possibilities of what could happen if this movie did well.
Oh no, I recall reading through the script. Originally, the script was called Creepers.
Creepers. Yeah.
Because of these zombies and the way they creeped along. And there was like the half zombie, and he kind of would walk along using his hands, so he was creepy. And I think he called them creepers at one time.
Mm-hmm.
That was the working title of the film while I was filming it. And I thought it was like the script was the coolest thing ever. fantasies about what was going to become of it, but nothing ever became of it because, it was at the time, once it was filmed and in the can, and then we went and saw a premiere of it with everybody who worked on it, and I didn't even know half the people that were there.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was not what I was expecting. It was a little more low budget than what I thought it was going to be. Because like I said, I didn't know at the time. So I was slightly disappointed, and then I never really had a career that took off after that in film. That's because of my particular living situation at the time. So.
Yeah. How was the director, Robert Scott?
He was awesome. He was, like I said, he was a character. He was a young guy, young wife, really gung-ho about his script and his story and about the filmmaking process. And I think the story was good for the time. It doesn't have the digital effects like movies do now, so
Yeah.
I had to make it look real without all that technology. So
Yeah.
I thought they did a really nice job. Like I was as a young actor, I got called in as the lead. I was there a lot. Whether I was being filmed or not at the time, it might have just been a one scene, but I had to be there all day because I did not drive myself, and the person that drove me, my dad did not drive me there. I went with like a production assistant. I would leave early in the morning, and then we would have to drive several hours to wherever the location was, which was like in the East Bay somewhere. It was a good hefty 2 or 3 hour drive from the Bay Area to where we filmed. I'd be there all day. So whether I was being filmed or not, I just got to hang out a lot. And they were really enthusiastic about their story and the way they were doing things. And that's what made me so, enthusiastic about it at the time as well. And again, I was 16, so I was just like, yeah, this is cool,
Yeah.
Not a lot of people on set, maybe half a dozen at one time, a dozen maybe, when the zombies were there. But otherwise, and when the zombies were there, it was creepy.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I mean, the makeup is pretty intense on
Yeah, the makeup is awesome.
on everybody. Yeah, I mean, God, that zombie bride and groom couple. Oh my God, I mean that doesn't get any spookier than that.
Rocky Duvall and Ironhead coming out of the laundry machine.
Yeah.
Out of the washing machine.
Yeah.
That was cool stuff. Now I never even met any of those people. Zombies, yes, but the older couple that got murdered in their house by the zombies, I never met them.
Yeah.
And then so a girl who played April, she went on to have a little bit of a movie career. She actually ended up in, I think she's like this yoga master or belly dancing master in LA currently. At least she was 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Heard about her. But prior to that, after Video Dead, she went on to do, she was in a Clint Eastwood movie that filmed in San Francisco. In the early 90s or late 80s. She went on and had a couple different little movies here and there.
Oh yeah, she was in the Deadpool, which was a Dirty Harry movie.
Yes, the Deadpool. Yes, she was. That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But do you know whatever happened to Robert Scott?
No, last I heard he was in LA. We had a little reunion about 10 years ago. They brought us all together to LA to do an audio recording on the DVD set that they were putting together. That one of the fans of the movie kind of put together himself with the DVD production company who owns it now.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who owns it now, but it came out on a double DVD with terrorism.
Yeah, yeah, it's on a double bill with TerraVision on Blu-ray because they're similar. They're similar
And that
movies.
Blu-ray, I think it's going out of print. They're not gonna print it anymore. And but when they were putting that whole Blu-ray version together, they brought the cast and the director to LA to do an audio taping of our stories, basically. So we all sat in the room together, we watched the movie, and we spoke about what we were watching in real time, and they recorded that, basically. And that was like a one night, and then we all went out to a Mexican restaurant, and that was about 10 years ago in LA that I flew out for like 3 nights from Florida to LA.
Nice.
They flew me
Nice.
out there. That was the last I heard of everybody, last time I saw everybody, and as far as I know, everybody looked like they were doing well. I don't recall what Robert Scott was doing, though. I don't recall.
Yeah. The editor, Bob Sarles.
I'm a dad now with 3 children and a whole life of my own, just in Florida. My wife and I are still, I'm still in theater, but I'm more of an instructor now with children.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, the editor, Bob Sarles, he went on to a huge career in producing movies and TV shows.
Yes, I am friends with Bob on Facebook. I hear about his life frequently just by all the. He's very. He posts a lot on Facebook. Bob Sarles does.
Uh-huh.
He's a really guy, and yeah, he's still editing, and he's still got a good career going on. I think, yeah.
Yeah, and Michael, he's doing well. I talked to him a couple of years ago. He's a wonderfully eccentric guy. I liked him a lot.
I only met him one time, I think, so I did not know him. No.
Yeah. I'm sure you get a lot of questions about the scene where the girl comes out of the TV.
The zombie that seduces me.
Yes.
Yes, that was a very awkward. That was a very awkward day. Yes.
Yeah, being a young kid at that time, and there's this beautiful woman there, trying to seduce you.
Yes.
And
Yes. And I remember filming it, and we met. We rehearsed so that we could meet each other. And we rehearsed prior to any filming day or anything like that. But then the day of the filming was very awkward and uncomfortable for me, but I got through it. And it looked like it turned out okay. I looked like I was uncomfortable and awkward, so it worked.
yeah, Jeff Ramiro, she died in 2011, unfortunately.
I think I've heard that. She living in San Francisco, and she was like a club performer or something like that.
Yeah, she was.
Late night club performer or something like that.
Yeah, she was in a punk rock band.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I knew she was something hardcore. Yes.
What was the hardest scene in the film?
I don't know if any of them were hard. I remember hanging up in the tree for a long time, very uncomfortably.
Mm-hmm.
The scene where I'm hanging in the tree with the chainsaw and I'm being used as bait to draw the zombies out, and I have a chainsaw in my lap, and I'm sitting in this like swing type of thing. I sat up there for a good long time, like a half a day, and they wouldn't let me down.
How many days?
That was uncomfortably not difficult, but just impatient for a 16-year-old to be up there all day.
I can imagine. Yeah. How many days did it take to shoot?
I don't know. I think maybe over like a 3-month period. I remember not having to go to school. That was always cool. I got excuse from school on shoot days. Probably over a 3-month period. Several days. I wouldn't know how many. Like a count.
Yeah.
I think it was a good 6-month process from the time that I started till the time it might have been finished.
Yeah.
I don't know. We filmed in '86, spring of '86, and it was released in like October of '87. So post production, and I'm sure it took them about a year after that.
Mm-hmm. You're like, screw the school plays. I'm in a movie.
Yeah, well, that's how I felt, but I still did my school plays. I had a pretty cool kick-ass senior year. It was pretty good. I had the movie, I had school plays going on, I was doing community theater. I was a busy young man, so it was a good year. And then then I graduated, and then life started. So.
Yeah. Did you guys have a rap party?
Yeah, there was a film. There was a film premiere in San Francisco. They rented out a theater.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember which one. It was in 1987. It didn't get a film release. It went straight to video, but they did do a premiere for everybody involved. So I remember going into San Francisco and seeing it. I had a girlfriend at the time. I think she was with me. Um, that was fun. I don't know if there was a rap party per se.
Mm-hmm.
I remember receiving a few royalty checks from it after the fact. That was cool. I didn't get paid for doing it. I got paid like on the back end. I remember signing a contract that said anything on the back end, but there was a little bit after it went to video. Robert Scott, tried his best to get it released or picked up by a distributor for a low budget, but it was a low budget B movie. So, but it had quite the cult following, I guess, and it still has. It's lasted over the last in 30 years now.
33 years. Yeah.
33 years, and I've never been invited to any kind of gore fest or anything to talk about it. But I wasn't a big horror movie, star. I was just a star of that movie, that one film, and I didn't really have a career in movies after that. So I understand why I would not be sought after, but it would have been cool.
Yeah. So, what was the reaction at that screening? I mean, did they like it?
I don't recall. I think I felt a little awkward just seeing myself up there, and sitting amongst people who were watching me up there on the screen. Maybe it felt a little funky, I think. So.
Yeah. I mean, the movie has this, Evil Dead meets George Romero vibe to it, with all the macabre humor and stuff.
Absolutely, and it's got the creepy piano music is a kind of ode to John Carpenter,
Yeah.
So it's got its own style, definitely its own style and flair. I really wish something would have come more out of it, for me as a film career. But at the time, like I said, I didn't have any agents or anything. I didn't have it. I also didn't have the I guess you could say balls to try my hand in LA with a film career. I never went to LA to try anything, but I also didn't have. After the movie came out and it went straight to video, everybody who saw it, because it was filmed, all my boys, they ran you, and it's not. Maybe toward women.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
a horror movie. It's got throwaway scenes, throwaway lines, and it's cheesy, but it's also got a really kind of classic style. If you're a horror movie fan, which my friends were not, so they just gave me a hard time about it. So it didn't make me feel like I had much to go on as far as a movie career, so I did not pursue one, even though I wish I could have, as far as I've done lots of commercial work, but I didn't try to go to LA and do a film work, so.
yeah.
I'm 51 now, but I still look young. I still look pretty close to what I looked like back then, just older. So I don't look old as a 51-year-old. I'm very youthful. I dance a lot. My wife and I are dancers. I got back into dancing in theater. I did a lot of, like I said, I cruised around the world on cruise ships, working for cruise ships for Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And that's how my wife and I met, and now I'm here in jolly old Florida. raising a family.
Yeah, you do look exactly like you did back then, I have to say, from what I saw in the
Yeah,
pictures.
pretty close. I'm very youthful, lots of energy, still feisty. um, and I've done lots of musical theater. I'm a member of Actors Equity Association for Stage Union. So I do a lot of shows here in South Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I am a working actor, teacher, dancer, father, family dude who's sheltering in place right now and is really ready to get out.
Yeah. Uh, when the movie came out though, on video, were there people like around town that like recognized you?
Yes, yep.
Yeah.
There would be I recall standing in lines for movies, um, like at Fashion Island Cinema.
I loved Fashion Island. I missed that place.
Yeah, Fashion Island Cinema. I'd be standing in line, and I was standing in line for one of their midnight showings of the Rocky Horror Picture Show back in like the late '80s. They did that every weekend, or once a month, or something.
Yeah.
I remember going to one, and that's a horror movie with cult following. So I did have, and at that point, my movie had gone straight to video. So it had also, I believe, gotten airplay on like uh, probably like a TNT type of station
Yeah.
back then in the Bay Area, So people, while I was standing in line, recognized me from that film. Yes.
I think Joe Bob Briggs used to play the movie a lot, and the way I remember it is from when I first got YouTube. YouTube really made this movie a bigger cult hit, and I think that's how it got on Blu-ray.
Well, yeah, yes. And there's a guy, one of the big, like I said, he's a real big fan of the movie. He kind of grew up on the movie. Him and his father watched it all the time, and watching this movie, he reached out to me. Oh gosh, he's the whole catalyst for the Blu-ray thing. This fan of the movie who put together, put himself out there and really made it happen for the cast to get together. It's awful that I'm forgetting his name because he's a friend of mine on Facebook, but we don't speak regularly. He did this amazing thing where he was able to get the movie put on Blu-ray and get us all together, and he kind of was the guiding force that made that happen. Otherwise, it probably would not have. He put together a petition and put it out there, and people signed it because he is a horror movie guy, and you might even know him. He's in this vein. I think he does podcasts as well on horror movies. I'm surprised you have that guys not crossed paths.
What's his name?
I'm not on my computer. If I go to my computer, you're going to lose me. I'm on my cell.
Okay,
I don't.
you can
I
tell
don't
me.
recall.
You can tell me in private later.
Sure, yeah, I can. I can text it to you. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to mention really quickly, historically, this was the last movie that Embassy Home Entertainment released before they became Nelson Entertainment with the Dino De Laurentiis company.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Embassy, I remember that. Yeah, Embassy. Yeah.
yeah, they released so
Who
many.
owns the rights for it now? Who owns it now?
I think Shout Factory does.
Yeah, okay, yes, that is correct.
Yeah, because MGM
And,
Home.
and it's going out of print. They're not going to print any more Blu-rays. They're taking it out.
Yeah,
Taking it
unfortunately.
out of rotation for forever, I believe. But I have my copies. I'm good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's well, Rocky. I thank you so much for coming on today, and I hope quarantine, doesn't get you down too much financially, and that you'll be able to return to work after all of this insanity.
We're hanging tough. We're hanging tough. We are warrioring on. Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much, sir. You have yourself a great night over there because
All right.
it's nighttime over there, and God bless you and the family.
Appreciate it, Tommy. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye bye.
Well, there you have it. Rocky Duvall. Ain't he a cool dude? Man, what a cool guy. It's cool to talk to someone from the same town as you. That is just awesome, man. You can't get any better than that. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes!